Grady Bonsall.
Here.
Dennis Sneeden.
Here.
Matt McKenzie.
Here.
Curtis Penrod.
Here.
Wally Henson.
Here. All right, public comment? Nothing? Okay, moving on to the first one. So public hearing on proposed ordinance 1817 about fence regulations. So at 6 o'clock still, I will officially open the public hearing.
The ordinance proposed before you tonight is a small change in the setbacks for fences in the community of Goodland. The proposed ordinance is for 6 feet from the back side of the curb from the current standard of 4 feet. That would simply to allow for a 5-foot ADA sidewalk in the front of the property or along the sides of it in the event that the city or the property owner ever wanted to install one.
Okay,
And we have not received I haven't received any contacts, and I don't know if Zach.
nothing came in.
No.
Okay. All right. Any other comments from staff, I guess?
They're just continuing to work on the regulations so they're consistent, and also that they're able to meet the needs of the community. So.
Okay, is that record time like 2 minutes?
No.
6:02, I will officially close the public hearing. And with that, I guess any further questions, comments, discussions from anybody on board?
And the motion is to recommend for approval because it's basically sending it to the city
The
commission.
city commission will do the final approval. We'll be sending a recommendation. All right, with that, there was a recommended motion in the packet. I would entertain that motion.
I will move to adopt ordinance 1817 to amend chapter 19, section 607 fences to make the minimum allowable distance from the curb to be 6 feet.
All right, moved by Curtis, seconded by Grady. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? All right, motion carries. Okay, moving on to the variance appeal for section 19, 452.6 yard regulations. So Zach, you want to give us a quick rundown?
Yeah. The variance is for the property at 809 Arcade Avenue. The applicant, Brock Wilkins, is requesting to reduce the front yard setback. Right now, the current standard is 20 feet from the property line or the average distance measured from the curb to the neighboring properties on the block, otherwise known as building line. The property has a sewer line that runs along let me get my direction straight, along the north side of it to the alley, and then on the southern half of the property, the gas line runs to the alley. To build a garage back there, you would have to uproot either your gas line or your sewer line, and if you did your sewer line, you'd have to relocate it and hope everything lined up in the house. Neither of those would be very cheap or feasible to do. The request is to move the setback to 12 feet to allow an 8-foot addition onto the front of the building. This would give him the additional storage and garage space that he would need at the moment. And from here, I would ask the applicant to go up and kind of talk about what his plans are.
All right, thank you.
How many people are here, so we brought up a couple different topics on this.
And I might have you go to the mic just in case somebody's online, then they can hear what you have to say.
So yeah, just, just add on, because currently I can't even fit my vehicle in straight, it's a 1960s built house, and all of those, I think along Arcade are kind of like that, where a lot of them are too short to fit the modern vehicles, so, extend it out where I can fit and actually use it as a 2-car garage and have some extra storage. So, but yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking of doing to kind of make it finish out nice and make it appealing for my neighbors.
So the addition is just, in your picture, just the sidewalls where the stonework is, and then the roof is like a lean-to back up to the current gable roof? Is that how it goes in there? Okay.
And, as of right now, I'd hope to do that. If I can't, then because that's just a truss-built garage.
Yeah.
So either continue out that roof pitch or kind of step it down like that.
Yep.
And come out. If I can't do the lean-to, I'd like to do the lean-to. Kind of look. I think it looks nice.
I like the break in the roof line. That just adds a little extra dimension to the house.
Yeah. 'Cause right now it's kind of pretty plain out front there, and yeah, I'd kind of dress it up nice.
I know this isn't really in the request, but it looks like you're gonna add in patio there with a wall that ties in the same way. Is that kind of how you're gonna tie it all together?
I think so. That's kind of, of course with computer software, kind of drawing like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to draw that and have a, fireplace out front.
Uh-huh.
Seems like all my neighbors like to hang outside out front anyway, so it'd be kind of cool.
That would be neat.
It kind of pulls that house all together really. That's where I was thinking, even like with that stone, use that stone on the garage and then kind of tie it in. If I could, do that around the corner and kind of make it all appealing.
Okay. What other questions you guys have for Brock?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
All right, thank you, sir. I think we probably have questions for Zach, maybe a little bit. At least I might have a couple. So on the map that you have drawn right there, the pink box obviously is the garage extension, right? And the red arrows represent.
The 12 feet
That's
from
12
the
feet.
building line to the property line.
And then from that to the curb is.
I forgot to print it. Let me grab it. I measured every house from 8 to 10.
Okay. Oh, there, yeah, that grid. This one, I looked at this in the packet and I found this graph really interesting that some are as close as they are. The other side of the street is the one that's all wonky. The odd numbered side of the streets are fairly consistent, aren't they? Well,
A lot of 34.
You get the jotted down version, not the pretty table.
is this it right here, Zach?
My beautiful table, yes.
Josh came through.
I was like, oh yeah, that's right below his.
So the 809 is highlighted in green. That's the current distance from the back of the curb to the building line. I did measure all the way from 8th to 10th just because there is no break for 9th Street, so it would be one continuous building line between the two streets. Across the street, you have a pretty big variation as to what the building line would be. There are a couple houses that do face north-south on the east-west street, so that kind of changes where they're placed at on the block as well.
So is it an 8-foot change or it's a 12-foot change?
It's an 8-foot change, so a reduction of 20 feet, which is in the code, to 12 feet.
And the existing building line is at 25, is that what I'm reading right?
Correct.
From property line, not curb.
Correct. And that's an estimated measurement off of our GIS software.
The odd side, the average is like 30 feet, but the other side is definitely different.
It's kind of weird once I started measuring those houses, and once you get to the south end of it, you can tell they're all built at an angle. So I don't know if somebody had one leg shorter than the other when they lined up all those houses.
They're not straight.
Not straight, straight.
Aren't a lot of extra drains.
Yeah.
So even with this change, if you ignore still wouldn't be the closest one. 804 is gonna still be the closest one, right, in the block, but it's on the opposite side of the street. Am I reading that right?
Yes, that would be the corner of 8th and Arcade on the west side, where the notorious
Where
tree.
the tree.
Like everything on the east side of the block's pretty well lined up, and then once you get to the west side of that block there, but between 8th and 10th, it really
Josh,
does
can you
that
zoom in
number.
just a little bit more on the 800 block so we can see that just a little, there you go. Yep. So it'd be, it's the property right on the bottom, right?
Mhm.
The one that's outlined.
Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah, okay. I was trying to figure out why 804 was so close, is because they have that other house jammed in the back on the alley.
Yep, there's 2 parcels in that.
Yep, yep. So at 804 in the top left, there's another house.
wow, yeah.
There's 2, that lot's divided in the middle.
And the other one's facing 8th Street.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Then when you scroll down just a little bit so I can see properties south of it. Okay. Yeah. I think Zach, you had that in your notes. This might be one of the most consistent building line blocks in town. Pretty straight.
On the east side, it's very consistent, other than the weird slant you get there as you go south, but
I was wondering if Brock have you visited with the neighbors about this a little bit?
Oh, I talked with Drew Drennan across the street, cause he has the same problem, and, you know, he just uses his for a, kinda like a living room area, and old John Mossbarger, he messaged me on, you know, on this deal, and he's like, does this concern me at all? And I said, no, I'm just looking to extend my garage. He's like, okay, good luck. So, seemed like, you know, and then talked to Nikki who lives next door, and she wasn't all that concerned, just cause, you know, she's out her front door is over far enough, and she just has bedrooms on that side,
and I did receive 2 phone calls, both of which were just asking what they got the letter for. One's explained they had no problem because both phone calls were actually on the block to the east of them. They were just within the 300 feet, so they had to get a letter. I did get another phone call, or I did run into somebody in person, and they were indifferent about the situation, but when I asked if they had an opinion as to why or why not, they did not.
Okay. Any more questions?
How does your wife feel about it?
I'm single.
Okay.
So get it done while you
Do it now.
That sounded like approved.
I hope none of our wives are watching, because we're all in trouble.
There's only one.
Excuse me.
Okay, so if there's no more questions, I think we need to go through
Yeah.
each of the pieces. If you remember, there's several bullet points here we just need to get some consensus on. So Zach has it kind of spelled out in the packet, but we'll just kind of go through these again. I don't probably need to read it word for word to you, but we'll start with uniqueness. So his comments were that it's an area of town that's on larger lots. Property owner's fence already offsets the property line by a few feet in the back. Is that last week?
Last one.
Am I in the wrong section of the packet?
No, I don't think you are. I think it's just got copied in.
Okay, so I won't read those to you. Oh, I lost my spot in the packet.
big screen now.
It's on the big screen. Yeah, so that's what I was just reading in the packet, but thank you for putting it up there on the big screen instead of me.
Is that related to the?
Yeah, those are the
The
comments
variance
from the
last time.
variance last month.
Then the wrong one got put in there.
Copy and paste, Eric.
Okay, do you have?
I
your
do have,
comments?
yeah,
Do you-
yeah.
Let's talk about
right one?
uniqueness and you give us your comments on uniqueness.
There are some limiting factors as far as the utility services being in the way of the rear of the property, creating an unnecessary hardship in the relocation of those lines. Whether it be the sewer or the gas, it would be pretty extensive to get that switched around.
Okay, so as far as uniqueness is concerned, I guess that's probably a unique factor there that
Yeah.
wouldn't be a case for everyone else. Consistency,
Utilities.
we've got uniqueness here.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Utilities make a hardship.
Okay. Next point is,
Adjacent property. The variance will not affect the property rights or adjacent property owners or residents. The houses along this neighborhood all sit back pretty far along from the curb. There is an ample amount of space between the houses, so it should not limit light. The proposed addition would tie into the existing roof line and or be a lean-to, so the extra runoff towards the neighbors would be accounted for in that event of it causing an issue.
okay,
If you did the front, I'd obviously push the water to the front of the property opposed to running with the trusses.
yeah, more it's kind of already headed, so. Okay, I think given this neighborhood and the size of the lots, the fact that it does, there's plenty of space there, I don't see any problems with adjacent properties anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't find any negative impacts.
Okay, next one, Zach?
Hardship. The relocation of the utility lines would cost more than the 8-foot addition that is being proposed with the variance application for the reduction of the front yard setback.
Yeah, so this one kind of in the uniqueness surfaces again here, hardship certainly, that it would be expensive to relocate the utilities, so everyone agree?
Yep,
Yeah.
totally.
Okay, next,
Public interest. The requested variance will not adversely affect public health, safety, morals, order, convenience, or general welfare of the community. The proposed variance shall not impair an adequate supply of light or air to the adjacent property, substantially increase the congestion in the public streets, increase the danger of fire, endanger the public safety, or substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood.
so kind of along the same comments in the, adjacent properties, given the lot size here, the fact that this, everything, the way it lays out, plus 9th Street TNN right there, I don't see
Yeah, it's not gonna affect traffic.
I don't see any issues in public interest here. Great.
I agree.
Okay, next one.
Spirit and intent. The requested variance will not be opposed to the general spirit and intent of the zoning regulations.
Yeah, I don't see any issues here. It doesn't seem to be like we're doing anything against the zoning regulations. Okay, last one.
Minimum variance. The requested variance is not the minimum variance that could be asked for. However, with the existing infrastructure, it would be the minimum variance to make it usable. If someone were to tear an old structure down, whoops, that one repeated. That one was my copy and paste on mine.
Okay.
I apologize.
There's got
Um,
an outbuilding out back, but
Do what?
there's an outbuilding out back, right?
Yeah.
And he tore that down and had to reconform if he was trying to build it, but the sewer line, or the gas line's there anyway, so.
He would still have to meet the 6-foot setback on the side yard as well. That building is just shy of 200 square feet, so it doesn't.
Didn't even count.
Yeah, I think given the nature of the way the house is built today and trying to make sure that if you're gonna do an addition, you're at least doing something that's usable, it probably does meet minimum request to make it a usable space. Agreement? Okay, with all that, I think the next thing is a motion, and I would assume there's one, in there, so I would entertain the recommended motion.
I move to approve the variance as requested to reduce the front yard setback to 12 feet.
Okay, moved by Grady, seconded by Dennis, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? All right, motion carries. Get to work, Brock, we're excited to see how it turns out. Thanks for cleaning up another property though. I mean, I
Yes,
know
exactly.
that one was a little distressed when you got it, and I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
the work that you're doing. It really, it's helpful.
My dad, he's that person I was gonna buy, you know, he's like, I don't know why you're doing this, you know how much work it is? I'm like, well, good thing I'm a little bit ignorant and haven't taken on anything like this before.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, we will move on to reports. Planning Commission, Grady, anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Dennis?
No,
Curtis?
I have not.
Wally, anything to report?
No, I don't have a report.
I don't think I have anything to report, so I'll just say no report. Staff reports, Kent, anything for us? Zach? Okay, minutes. Everybody have a chance to look through the minutes from last meeting. Any changes, additions, subtractions, corrections,
Deletions,
deletions?
because it's too long.
That was a big meeting.
That was.
Yeah, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for March 10th, was it?
Yes, sir.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Grady, seconded by Curtis. All in favor, aye.
All right,
Opposed, nay. All right, I move we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Moved by Matt, seconded by Wally. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thanks, guys. That was quick.